Hello Internet, welcome back to another episode of Star Wars The Force Unleashed. In the last episode, we played as Darth Vader. Too bad good things can't last forever. We are now playing as Starkiller. And right off the bat, playing as Starkiller, he controls basically identically to Darth Vader, except instead of Force Choke, he has Force Lightning. Which is definitely better. But otherwise, he has the same block, grips things just the same. He's just weaker at the moment because this game does one of those things that I really like where it just like gives you a glimpse of what you can be by the end of the game before taking that away from you and forcing you to play as somebody who's weaker. And I like If you press A while holding a direction, you will do a force dash that will get you further than you would otherwise get. You'll be using this a lot just because the running speed in this game isn't the fastest in the world. I don't know why my controllers are not functioning properly right now. Hopefully that'll end. Okay, it looks like it's ending. But yeah. These are not rebel troopers, they're militia troopers, because the Rebel Alliance doesn't exist yet. For some reason, that health bar doesn't count for 2 of the people in the room. And Vader said we had to kill the Imperials too. Press Z and B and thrust the Wii remote and nunchuck downwards. Okay. That's a lot of demands. There we go. That's a force repulse. That's not our most effective move, and it's also difficult to use in the Wii version, so you probably won't be seeing me use that often. All it's really good for right now is just knocking a bunch of people onto their feet at once, or onto the ground at once, not onto their feet. If it was onto their feet, that would just be a little too effective in their favor. If you see lightning coming out of the ground like that, then you will likely be struck by it. I just died. You need to pay attention to your health. Enemies can drop health pop-up, or not pop-ups, pickups. And you want to be getting those consistently because there is a lot of stuff that can hurt you in this game that you just really won't pay attention to. For some reason, a lot of enemies just don't respawn when you die, so it's not that terrible, but you do get sent back quite a ways sometimes. Especially later in the game. Let me tell you, when you die in some places later in the game, it sucks how far you have to walk back, and the later levels in this game can get pretty difficult, especially in the Wii version once again, because I've said these motion controls are good, and that's true, comparatively to most Wii games, especially of the time, where basically all that was out were shovelware, Mario Galaxy, Mario Kart, and this game. And also Twilight Princess, but that didn't really use motion controls. So it's just comparatively to other games at the time, this game's motion controls are really good. But they aren't the most good. Which I've come to realize a lot more as I'm recording this series. They really aren't as good as I thought. They're just okay. Which is fine, but my wrist, like, it hurts already, and I've been recording this episode for 9 minutes. So that's a cool use of the Force. That's something you'll notice about this game, like, if you play it. Unlike most Star Wars games where it's just use your lightsaber all the time, this one has you using the Force a lot more often because, I mean, in the Wii version, the lightsaber's less effective a lot of the time. And also the Force powers are just so cool. Like, I think I said in the last episode that Force Grip is really fun in the HD version. And that's just because the ways the enemies react to it, and also just the amount of control you have. Force Grip is very clunky in this version of the game. I killed that guy, so I can't show it off on him. So, if you grab something, you move it around from side to side using the nunchuck, but in order to lift it up and down, you have to lift the nunchuck up and down. Which, again, cool use of the nunchuck, and just the motion controls in general, but it can be a little frustrating sometimes. Because I do not have the strength in my arms to do that. Okay, how were these guys in here and not killed by the militia troops that wanted to kill them outside the door? And I guess I just opened the door. Like, that door is probably a little tough to unlock using guns. They aren't guns, they're blasters. They're different. One fires metal bullets and the other fires... I mean, they're just lasers, but I don't know what they're made out of because it's not like a cat laser, but it looks like one. Say holocron in here. I will be getting the holocrons when they're in, like, obvious locations, but this isn't 100% run by any means because I just don't care about seeing all the concept art and stuff that much. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad this is the first game I'm playing that isn't from a like pre-existing game franchise because there aren't many of those I enjoy, but of all the ones I do, this is probably the one I like the most, other than a lot of other Star Wars games that I really like. Star Wars had a lot of good games back in the day, and now EA is in charge, so we don't get that many good ones. Battlefront 2 is good now, but it was awful when it first came out. Battlefront 1 was just bad throughout its entire life. And Jedi Fallen Order isn't really worked on by EA that much, clearly, so... Collected a lightsaber color crystal. So, this is a little dumb that they give you the green one first, because you're a Sith apprentice. Why are they giving you a green lightsaber in the first level where you're going to kill a Jedi? You can use it to switch the color of your lightsaber, which is something I really like, but I'm not going to do that right now because red just works more for the missions we're going on. I mean, I even have the Imperial logo in my icon for this LP. It would be pretty dumb for me to go completely against that. Because Sith use red, and so do Dark Jedi, and so do some Jedi in Legends. So I guess it's not really an exclusive thing. I guess Anakin used a blue lightsaber for a little bit when he became Darth Vader, but I mean that ended like literally a day later when Obi-Wan absolutely destroyed him. With facts and logic, even. Except there wasn't really logic at all. Because, like, saying only a Sith deals in absolutes is an absolute. But Anakin's technically the only one dealing in absolutes. Man, look at this. This is so fun. I don't know, there's a lot I want to say about the game, but I just don't know how to word it. That wasn't supposed to look like that.
Where is the Jedi? Ah! Tell me.
Why? I'm dead anyway. Ah! Okay, please, just stop.
Then talk.
Master, Kota, control room.
Man, that was just... well, never mind, he's okay. I don't know why he was invisible in that cutscene. That's really dumb. Like, two of them were. I don't know what's going on with that, but... this guy doesn't seem to be hostile anymore, so... I mean, he's saying hostile things, but I think he's chill. This is super strange. I don't like it. There have been so many like minor glitches like that throughout the recordings of this LP so far, like Darth Vader being invisible for a second when we were fighting the Rogue Jedi in the first one. I don't know. Like, it has been a while since I've paid close attention to this game, but now that I am, I'm definitely seeing this port has flaws. And the PS2 version of this port is better, by the way, because it's just like traditional button controls, so you have full control over what you're doing. And, I mean, that's basically it. It also does look better, but that's just because the PS2 is a more graphically capable console than the Wii. So the Wii is essentially just GameCube 2. How powerful is that guy's head to cause that entire thing to explode and fall? And then how did that thing fall and turn into a TIE fighter wing? I have many questions. You can block while you're on these elevators, but you can't really do anything else. I don't know what this game's obsession is with just having cutscenes to show tiny things they could show in gameplay. But this game likes to do that. We did, just earlier, get a health power-up, so now we just permanently have more health. That's helpful. If you press down on the D-pad on the Wii Remote, you will lock on to your enemy, which is helpful. It's something I usually forget about just because it doesn't matter that much, but it does help with targeting on, like, the Wii Remote because, again, the Wii Remote's not great for this game.
Keep it up!
I would have played the PS2 version, but I don't have the PS2 at home, and my disc for the PS2 version is even more scratched, and believe it or not, it's more expensive to get the PS2 version of this game than the Wii version. At least I can say the PS2 version being scratched isn't my fault, because I got that at a garage sale. The Wii version's totally my fault. I played this game all the time and was too dumb to put things in cases. Have a force upgrade here, so now we have more force powers, or not more force powers, but force points, so we can use more force powers. Sometimes I wish I was playing the HD version just because of the cool backhanded grip Starkiller uses in that game. That's definitely something people like less about this game, is just that he uses his lightsaber in a much more normal way, as opposed to the backhanded style he uses in the HD version of the game. And, yeah, that's a reasonable complaint. I don't care that much, but it does look cooler when he's using the other style. I think that guy that got into that ATST is a Jedi, because did you see that jump? Like, that was absurd. ATST's a really simple boss. You don't really have to do anything against it. Just fight it like it's a normal enemy that just takes longer to kill. It can knock you back if it hits you with its shots, and if I get close to it... If you... Okay, or you don't have to, but I'm just requesting. The lightsaber does do good damage to it, too. Oh god. I do not need nunchuck drift. Not while I'm recording, please. I don't need to buy new nunchuck. Okay, there we go. I may have to get new nunchucks. You can knock back its shots, which I didn't know, because I've never really bothered blocking against it. It was also very susceptible to force lightning. This is what I wanted to show. It can try to crush you with its foot, and then you have the Wii Remote QuickTime event. And then you do this, which does a good deal of damage to it, and then you get the QuickTime event to finish it off. You don't actually need to do the QuickTime event to kill this thing in the HD version, but you do in the Wii version, which I just messed up. But I should be getting it again right now, so... Yeah, sometimes it's reversed where you'll use the Wii Remote for force powers and QuickTime events, and I don't like that. There we go. I don't know why that fanfare just starts playing suddenly. Oh, sorry, droid. Droid rights, everybody. It's too bad the Clone Wars ended with just a terrible situation at a droid rights protest. Obi-Wan just had to interfere with the droid rights protest. General Grievous wasn't that bad a guy. He didn't really kill that many people. Alright. These guys are obnoxious, and I want them to be dead. Guys with the rocket launchers, their rockets fire very slowly, which makes them more annoying than they would otherwise be. Militia troopers, in this room, there's a lot of them. They will overwhelm you. That is what they do. Oh, I'm about to die. Okay, I have a really bad habit of not paying attention to my health bar in this game. Luckily, once again, there are health restoration items all over the place, so it's not that bad. These guys with the swords are like fighting Jedi, but weaker, obviously, because they're normal enemies. They do seem to take more hits to kill than normal militia troops, though.
Do not stop firing!
Who? Me? Okay, if you insist. I don't feel bad. Man, this place is so cool. Like, this part of the thing particularly. The rest of... This place just looks like a generic Star Wars ship in the HD version. It doesn't really have this area with the more red, like in the end of Empire Strikes Back, when Luke is fighting Darth Vader. That area looks more like this, and I just really like the way it looks. I'm glad that the... Okay, the drift on this nunchuck is getting absurd. I'm real sick of it. I've never had controllers that get as bad drift as these nunchucks. Even my Joy-Cons, when they had drift, were not this terrible. Okay. I will do what I can to get better nunchucks, but nunchucks are expensive for some reason, so...
Spotted one!
Oh, okay. Just open that door. Okay, you weren't supposed to be able to do that, guys. Are all my favorite games really just this broken? Okay. That was cool. That was like a dash that wasn't necessary, followed by an uppercut that also really wasn't necessary. Okay, I needed that health item, that is for sure. I don't know what these health items are called. Are they, like, Bacta? Are they related to Bacta tanks? Bacta is the only thing I know in Star Wars that relates to health, other than, medical droids? How come you can't learn Force Heal in this game? How come they conveniently forgot that ability exists in making video games for Force Unleashed? You can do so many Force powers in this game. Force Heal is not one of them. You can do a bunch of powers they just kind of never acknowledge. The Force Heal, the one they acknowledged in all the Jedi Knight games, you cannot. They're dead. Okay. This looks pretty end of level-ish with how actual red this is instead of orange red.
A boy? Months of attacking Imperial targets, and Vader sends a boy to fight me? Vader will regret not facing me himself.
Fighting Kota, you're going to want to focus on blocking a lot. He has a lot of powerful lightsaber attack.
What? Where is Vader?
If you engage in a saber lock, those are pretty easy with him because he focuses on a more defensive style.
Think, boy. I have survived much worse than this. Do you really think you can defeat me?
He uses a more defensive style, which is just canon. He's more defensive in terms of how he uses his lightsaber. That's on Wikipedia, so I'm going to trust that. But it's hard to tell in this fight because he hits so hard. He will block against your lightning if you do it for too long. If you block midway through a flurry from him, then... Okay, he uses Force Repulse so much that it almost looks like an effective power. I can do that too.
No match for me. Stop this madness before it's too late.
I can't tell who's yelling when you push him in that QTE. Is he yelling? Is Starkiller yelling? Starkiller has no dialogue during this fight as far as I know, but I'm also thinking of the HD version, so maybe he does in this version.
You're stronger than I thought, boy. However, you're not going to stop me, even if I have to bring this whole factory down on our heads.
I like the way he says that. Even if I have to bring this whole factory down on our heads. He sounds like a cowboy. Rahm Kota Space Cowboy. Okay. Yeah, there's basically no avoiding that.
Vader is the one I want, not you!
There we go. Okay. I don't like this fight very much, just because it takes so long. This is like one of the longer boss fights in the game, and it's the first boss is Starkiller. Okay. We're getting there, though. Like, we're really getting there.
You're just a pawn of the dark side, boy. Vader thinks he's turned you, but I can sense your future, and Vader won't always be your master. I sense only me?
Master Kota is dead.
Yes.
His lightsaber. You lack focus. You're easily distracted. Had that been your own saber, you would be dead by now. Go to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Your training is far from complete, my apprentice.